The difference between earlier manipulations, voter ballot stuffing or whatever it is, used to take place in isolated manner by mischievous elements, antisocial elements, other kind of corrupt elements. Now the scenario is different. Post 2017, the charge is directly on the Election Commission. Election Commission party to the whole manipulation that is taking place, without which it is not possible. That is where I think Mahmood Pracha has been giving interviews and coming out with plausible reasons of sleeper cells, infiltrators coming into the Congress party and sabotaging at every level. The charge I am making is India's political system and the parties are not honest to democracy. They are dishonest to democracy. They are using the electoral process to capture power and authority and wealth, not for democratic, the voice of the people, the mandate of the people to prevail, like our founding fathers did. Media, IT cell, BJP, they are all part of the mafia, and there could be foreign elements also. Now the question is opposition also part of the mafia? That's the question that we are asking now.
Are you saying that Supreme Court is endorsing the election mafia? We can say that.
Yeah,
can we not?
Without realizing, probably they're doing it without realizing it. In innocence.
Hello and a warm welcome to HW News Network, your one-stop show, truth be told, for some engaging and thought-provoking conversations. Now, today, Congress held its working committee where all the members of the CWC met together. But in the middle of this CWC meeting came out a letter which was written by the Congress party. And this was a memorandum which was made to the Election Commission. And I'm just going to quote a few lines as to what they have written. They said that we write to apprise you of certain serious and grave inconsistencies which are being revealed in the data relating to the polling and counting processes for the recently concluded Maharashtra State Assembly elections. These glaring inconsistencies, which strike at the very root of a transparent, free and fair electoral system, are not based on any biased motives or far-fetched presumptions, but have been extracted from the information made publicly available by the Honorable Commission. In fact, questions relating to Maharashtra's voter data have also been raised by a former chief election commissioner. Hence, we are bringing the same to the attention of this Honorable Commission. And then what basically they have said, and they have named the two leaders who want to have an in-person meeting with the Election Commission. And that is Nana Patole, Mukul Vasnik, and Shri Ramesh Chenithala. Now, they have raised serious issues which are being discussed in the public domain. They have asked the EC for an in-person hearing to present the relevant evidence and raise constituency-wise issues as well. So we thought of speaking to retired IS officer who's also part of the citizens group which has spearheaded the campaign on EVMs and rampant corruption which exists. I'm joined by MG Devasahayam. Thank you, sir, so much for joining. And MG Devasahayam was the returning officer during the elections which were held after the emergency. So he really has a clear idea as to where this whole campaign is going and how the elections are being manipulated. Thank you, sir, so much for joining on HW News. And my first question to you is regarding this letter which has been written by the Congress that these three leaders want an in-person hearing with the Election Commission so that they can explain the discrepancies in the voter data. Now, what would you say about this letter which has been just written by the Congress party? Yes, sir.
I read the letter and looks like it is better late than never, because we were fearing that these Congress people will not even understand the enormity and the seriousness of the situation. I am happy that at least they have some understanding of the seriousness. I will explain to you. Now, even in this letter, they are not asserting themselves as a principal opposition party. They are firing on the shoulders of Qureshi and Parkala Prabhakar. Qureshi made a brief statement in his interview with Rajdeep Sardesai. He was wondering, as he should, the former Chief Election Commissioner, post EVM reporting system is absolutely, there can't be any delay on reality basis. You just press the button, real time. The word that he used is the real time. When there is a real time, there cannot be such a discrepancy. Even if it was there earlier, there's no question of them remaining. There could be marginal error, like not normal statistical error, half a person, 1% maximum. Now, that is Qureshi's statement. Good. I welcome that. Then about the analysis of spike in votes, a detailed analysis has been done by our team, and Parkala Prabhakar spoke in an interview, I think, with Karan Thapar, if I remember, and with you also. So he has clearly explained, professional economist that he is, in clear terms, the numbers, the number game. So the question now is, this letter highlights two very critical manipulations that are taking place, which we have been flagging for a long time. Very long time. It started in 2019. See, they have started about the spiking of the voter list, the registration, the bogus voters. They're talking about 47 lakh additional voters being joined. And they're talking about winning 42 constituencies out of it. And they're also talking about, Parkala Prabhakar is talking about 76 lakh additional votes which were spiked post-polling. Both put together 1 crore 20 lakh votes. I mean, that can determine the election. You don't need an election. You can manufacture the results. See, the question is, there is nothing new in it. I am really sorry that Congress party has taken notice of it now. I'll tell you why. In 2019, we had our own suspicion. That's why we set up a Citizens Commission on Election and we examined the entire electoral system, including EVM. In addition to that, there was a Professor Sabyasachi Das of the Ashoka University, economics professor. He did a study. See, these professors, these academic people do a very detailed kind of thorough study. And they don't give anything to chance. So he came out with a paper, 2020, if I remember, 21, the downsliding of India's democracy, where he has established two manipulations very clearly, which happened in 2019 Lok Sabha election. Actually, there are three manipulations. Election Commission has perfected the art of all the three manipulations. Now, I am giving you an open challenge. Out of this, Sabyasachi Das dealt with two. The three are, number one, registration manipulation. Padding up the electoral roll, deleting and adding, and padding up manufacturing voters. There is manufacturing of voters to suit your purpose. Okay? That is called registration manipulation. Second is turnout manipulation. Turnout manipulation is precisely what Election Commission is doing. Post-polling is over, they jack it up by 5%, 6%, 8%, 10%. This is turnout manipulation. They are manipulating the turnout data. These two has been established by Sabyasachi Das in his study in 2019 Lok Sabha election also. Third is counting manipulation. And the Election Commission has been working on it for a fairly long time. They have destroyed the VVPAT system. By destroying the VVPAT system, by destroying the voter verifiable paper audit trail, destroying the verification, destroying the audit, they have facilitated the counting manipulation. So what is happening now is all the three combined. This happened in 2024 parliament election. There was registration manipulation, there was turnout manipulation, and there was counting manipulation. Now, that was flagged. If and we have the report came and we discussed it. We are given the numbers 4 crores.
You are saying that Congress has acknowledged this very late.
No,
Now
not late. Let me finish this. There's a flow. There's a flow. Oh, we had brought in 4 crores 65 lakh votes. Discrepancy, that is hiking up. They should have taken up that issue at that time. They did not do that. Deliberately, it was sabotaged in the Congress party. Haryana, they did the same kind of exercise. They did not take it up. Maharashtra, they have done it in a brazen manner, and now they taken it. Even now, it's an apologetic tone. They are not asserting. You see, it's a question is now a pattern has been established. That's what I'm trying to say. That better late than never. Even now, I hope they will not leave it at that, because election commission will come out.
Just allow me to interrupt you, sir. You said that the tone of the letter written by Congress to the Election Commission is very apologetic, and they are not as asserting as they should be. Now, what should have been the content of that letter according to you? If you were to write this letter on behalf of Congress, what would you write?
I would have gone back to 2019. They should have consulted with us. We have material. I would have gone back to 2019 parliament election. I would have gone back to 2024 parliament election. I would have gone back to Haryana. Maharashtra is not in isolation. A pattern has been developed. So unless that is brought out in front of the people, how do you expect the action to take place? That's why. It's not Maharashtra in isolation. That's why I said apologetic. Why are they just crying only on Maharashtra? So I just saw Fadnavis' statement. अरे वो तो जीत गया, वो झारखंड में तो जीत गया, वो तो ईवीएम ठीक है, क्या नहीं जीता, ईवीएम ठीक नहीं है. They just dismiss it. You have to establish the manipulation pattern which has been developed basically assiduously and with the full involvement of the Election Commission of India. See, the difference between earlier manipulations, voter ballot stuffing or whatever it is to take place in isolated manner by mischievous elements, antisocial elements, other kind of corrupt elements. Now the scenario is different. Post 2017, the charge is directly on the Election Commission. Election Commission party to the whole manipulation that is taking place, without which it is not possible. Without which, that's the point. That's why you can't be apologetic. You must be assertive. That's the point I was trying to make.
No, but is Congress really serious about taking up this issue? If they are raising issues of discrepancies in the voter data and they want to have an in-person meeting with the Election Commission, the earlier meetings have not yielded very productive results. It's the Election Commission which gets back with such condescending answers to the Congress. So what's the point in writing a letter?
That's what I'm saying. Here also I told you they are riding on the shoulders of two eminent personalities. They are not saying that we are saying you. See, as a principal opposition party, they said we are telling you this.
No, but what is the hesitation? According to you, why is Congress hesitating so much on calling EVMs the EVM scam or the EVMs are being manipulated? Why so direct to the Election Commission?
See, that is where I think Mahmood Pracha has been giving interviews and coming out with plausible reasons of sleeper cells, infiltrators coming into the Congress party and sabotaging at every level. See, we brought out the CCE report in 2020. The serious flaws of Election Commission was flagged by a professional group of top scientists and technocrats in the world. Then this professor from Ashoka University came out with a study. He called it downsliding of India's democracy. You know what happened to him? Ashoka University was raided. He was sacked, summarily sacked and thrown out of the college. University. And both the Haryana government and central government gave a warning to Ashoka University. Now Ashoka University is sitting absolutely like a dummy. So the point I'm trying to make is there was such a reaction. So After that, I find, I don't want to mention names, they've completely blocked any university or any educational institution from doing any research on the electoral system.
Right.
Throughout the
You're
world,
right. Right. You're right, absolutely, that they've stopped the universities from doing an honest research. But let's not digress from the issue, because the issue is the letter which the Congress party has written, and we are talking about the electoral democracy which is in danger. What I want to ask you, Mr. Devasahayam, is the fact that you were saying that there are infiltrators in Congress. That's a very strong term which you have used. That there are infiltrators in Congress who are sabotaging the process. Now, if they are realizing that they are losing elections, if there is an acknowledgement by people like Chenithala, by people like Mukul Vasnik, by people like Jitendra Ahwad, or for that matter, many other leaders in NCP, that this election has been rigged, and so as by Sanjay Raut also. So why can't Congress party be direct to the election commission? And they know the cliched answers which are given by the election commission. What is stopping Congress from being direct to the election commission?
that is what is turning it to be mysterious. See, as we have been saying, opposition has a bigger responsibility in safeguarding democracy than the ruling party. Ruling party has achieved its objective. They have captured power. They don't bother about democracy. उनको उससे नाम का वास्ते वो mother of democracy, father of democracy, grandfather of democracy, that is enough. But it is the life and death of the opposition. If they are true to the concept of democracy, the charge I am making is India's political system and the parties are not honest to democracy. They are dishonest to democracy. They are using the electoral process to capture power and authority and pelf, not for democratic, the voice of the people, the mandate of the people to prevail. Like our founding fathers did, Mahatma Gandhi, Jawaharlal Nehru, our Ambedkar, Jayaprakash Narayan, all these people, they had a certain vision. They wanted democracy to survive, electoral democracy. That's why India, in spite of such a huge problem, gave universal suffrage to everyone, and then brought down the age to 18. So, but actual practice, these political parties are only interested in capturing power. When they are unable to capture the power, they have a grievance.
Absolutely. But the point is that if there has to be a campaign against the electronic voting machines, how do you do it in a system which is so resistant to this idea? Look at the media. Look at the DNA of media, which is attuned to stories which are against ballot papers. They don't want to accept anything which is which speaks against EVMs. Look at the judicial DNA. I'm talking about the judges, the DNA of the judges also. Look at what happened 3 days ago when Mr. Paul had filed a petition in the Supreme Court, and Justice Vikram Nath and Justice Virale completely dismissed that petition, saying that, this can't be, and they dismissed the petition. So how do you build a campaign like this? Are you hopeful that if Congress comes by your side, or if the opposition is by your side, are you hopeful that you guys can bring up a good campaign which is supportive of the ballot papers and dismisses the EVM machines?
See, basically, let us understand the picture. It's not only EVM. EVM is a symbol. It's the entire electoral system in India today is designed to be fraud. And
the narrative is only for the EVMs.
No.
Talking about the electoral democracy.
We have to extend this manipulation of the voting list, the voters list. It's nothing to do with EVM. Their election commission did a massive fraud. We were opposing tooth and nail the linkage of voter ID with Aadhaar card. Aadhaar card itself is a bogus documentation. Initially, Election Commission, previous to 2017, they were opposing it. Then they supported the law minister who was there earlier. They discussed, and the Prime Minister's office held a meeting, and Chief Election Commission went and attended the meeting and say, yes, sir, and they supported. The post linking with Aadhaar, the electoral rollers become absolutely porous. You can manipulate at will. You can add, delete. Election Commission did it. So it is not only EVM. And secondly, why Election Commission do it? It is not that Election Commission has not been sincere. Now coming back to Qureshi's time, 2013, Supreme Court. Supreme Court gave a genuine order. VVPAT, voter verifiable paper audit trail. Qureshi was the chief election commissioner. He implemented it. Then he was followed by Sampath. He implemented it. He amended the rule also, saying that paper slip is now after post 2017 completely destroyed the paper slip. See, if they had implemented the VVPAT in a genuine manner and counted a statistical proportion of 30 to 40% of the paper slip, this problem would not have arisen at all. Now we are talking about the jacking up 76 lakh votes. If they had counted the paper slips, this doubt could be removed. Why they are not counting? Because they are committing fraud. So, with all responsibility, I am saying, Election Commission is the center of the fraud. This Chief Election Commission must be impeached and thrown out.
No, but right. No, you're saying that Election Commission is the center of all the fraud. The entire Election Commission should be impeached. But even then, the opposition is found lacking again. Where have they moved the impeachment motion?
That's what I'm saying. Opposition will be forced. If the people rise, opposition will be forced. They are soft pedaling. They think that election is for them.
No, but neither are we seeing but Mr. Devasahayam, neither are we seeing the people's movement on this. Neither are we seeing the opposition parties getting very alert to the situation and, working towards an impeachment motion. I haven't heard any of the opposition parties talking about impeaching the Chief Election Commissioner or the entire Election Commission.
You are right. Nobody is talking about it. As I said, even now, even today's meeting is little more assertive than the earlier meetings, earlier letters. This is written by 3 new people. The Maharashtra Congress chief.
Yes.
Anitala, I think he's in charge of Maharashtra.
Anitala, Nana Patole and Mukul Vasnik.
Yes. And Mukul Vasnik, I think, is General Secretary. I don't know. He's General Secretary. Yes. These are 3 different people. So this is more assertive. The earlier letters were absolutely apologetic, begging the Election Commission. The question is, even now, the Congress, as a principal opposition, has not realized the danger India's democracy is facing. They have not had any round of discussion with us. We have been working on it. See, we look at it from different angle. Political party people look at it from a different angle. Unless you look at it from the proper angle and understand the threat that is to the democracy. But
in your assumption, what do you think is the major reason for Congress's hesitation? Why are they so hesitant in taking up this issue aggressively?
I do not know. How do I know? I am not a congressman. I have been talking to a very limited number of Congress people. They are also not on the top rank. I mean, they are not insiders. But people who are running the show, I do not know what is their commitment to democracy. I really do not know. I really do not know the commitment of Rahul Gandhi to democracy. I do not know the commitment of Priyanka Gandhi to democracy. I do not know. Because he is raising up issues. He is raising up Adani issue. Okay, good, fine. Corruption. He is raising up caste issue. Fine. Social justice. Fine. But he is not taking up the real democracy issue. If there is no electoral democracy, if there is no free and fair election, what is the use of his doing caste census? What's the use?
Right.
Okay. Then Adani will keep on owning the government of India. He is doing it every day. They are giving him.
Right.
So these are all peripheral issues. Core issue is mandate of the people. If the government people want to change, at the end of the day, democracy provides for people to change the government every 5 years. If election results are going to be manufactured like this, how can they ever change? What's the use of all your agenda?
Okay. Mr. Devasahayam, there are 2 points on which I would want you to elaborate, because when I was speaking to you on the phone, we had discussed 2 points. And one was Justice D.Y. Chandrachud's contribution to this entire, the manipulation game. And so, how much of the role has Chandrachud played? And secondly, you were also talking about how election is run now by a mafia. It's not a very simply conducted election. So, I really want you to throw light on both these issues.
Okay, give me a few minutes. Chandrachud was a disaster. We never expected. Let me be very frank, forthright. I am much elder to him. Let me treat him, though of course he rose to a very high rank. I treat him as an younger brother. What happened was, these issues came before the Supreme Court in 2018, 2019. I was the first person to challenge, saying that the EVMs are undependable. We got to go through the process of VVPAT, the implementation of the VVPAT. And we got to go for a statistical, reasonable standard to cross-verify VVPAT so that this problem is not there. So 2013, the election was, VVPAT was brought in. 2014, there was no VVPAT. But Supreme Court issued series of orders that in 2019 election, all EVMs should have VVPAT. But the A.K. Jyoti, who was the Chief Election Commissioner, who was former Chief Secretary of Gujarat, who had worked under Modi, he was the Chief Election Commissioner in 2017, early 2018. He gave a very strange order. You verify voter verifiable paper ballot in one booth in a assembly constituency. Normally, assembly constituency got 250 to 300 booths. That means 0.5%. Ridiculous. He destroyed with one circular, though a lot of people told him, no, don't do this, don't do this, don't do this, he issued an order. There was a chap called Jain, who was a deputy election commissioner. They ganged up together and issued this order. We challenged it. This is a ridiculous kind of situation. Supreme Court order is being flawed. So you implement the Supreme Court order. So we went, I was the principal, and some of my civil society colleagues were there, civil servants were there. That was 2018 end. 2019, as the election year started, the political parties also cropped up. If you remember, Chandrababu Naidu, headed by him, they also entered the fray. They also filed. We have asked for 30% cross-verification of paper ballot. 30%, as per the advice given by one of the topmost statistical expert in the country, former Director General of ISI, Calcutta-based ISI. So we submitted all the papers, and these people came and submitted something. I don't know what was the intention. They messed up the whole thing. They asked for 50% without any document. So normally in the Supreme Court, the first writ petition is supposed to prevail. Others are supposed to be attached. Because so much of publicity of this Chandrababu Naidu one, so that was taken as precedent. Ours was attached. So Ranjan Gogoi was Chief Justice. It was a first bench, three judge bench. Ranjan Gogoi, Deepak Gupta, and Justice Sanjeev Khanna, the present the Chief Justice. So they passed an order saying that that was sometime in February and March, just before the 2019 election started. There is no time. Ad hoc, we are giving you ad hoc. Instead of 1, you count 5. So 0.5% they gave to 0.22%. And also in another petition, they said, we don't have time to go into the integrity of the EVM, the wordings.
Right.
The wordings. We don't have time because it came to us only late 2018. We don't have time to go into the integrity of EVM. So we leave it at that. This is the interim order. So all right, the election started, and this was not even implemented. Anyway, 2019 story was over. So that is what provoked us to set up the Citizens Commission on Election. Right. Go into the matter in great detail.
You mean to say?
Let me complete. Your question will let me answer. Chandrachud comes in now. So 3 years we spent. researching, coming out with a report saying that these are the flaws of the EVM, these are the VVPAT, how this will be done, everything is done. Then we published a book, we had a conclave. So everyone was saying, Chandrachud is taking over in October, November 2023. He will solve all the problems. Our advocates told us, please wait for Chandrachud, sir. Please wait for Chandrachud, sir. You filed the case after that. So he took over in November 2023 and writ petition was filed in February, March 2023. He took over in 22 November and it was filed by ADR, Association for Democratic Reforms, and entirely based on our Citizen Commission report. So two things that we provided to the Supreme Court. One is a complete scientific analysis and a scientific technical report. One, enough, more than enough time for them to give opportunity, study, consult the expert opinion, and give a considered judgment before 2024 election about the integrity of the EVM. Okay, that was the objective. Now, what a normal, a honest Chief Justice should have done, he should have put it up in his own bench, right? First bench. Earlier the order was first bench, headed by the Chief Justice. He instead sent it to a single judge bench. Single judge, I don't know how it went. But Justice M.R. Shah. He dragged on for some time, then he retired. Went to a two-judge bench, Sanjeev Khanna and Bela Trivedi. Then it went to a third bench, Sanjeev Khanna as well as another judge. So eventually they were saying there is no urgency, there is no urgency, there is no urgency. They kept on postponing. Then they took it up in April 2024 after 3 phases were complete. After 3 phases were complete and dismissed it, giving all kind of lectures. EVM is holy, is a holy cow, is a sacred cow. We can't touch CVM. We can't go back to. So is this the way you handle a case of such an immense nature? So the blame 99% rests on Chandrachud because he was the master of the roster. He knows the seriousness of the case. You would have read the affidavit. You would have read the material. I also filed an intervening petition. But because they dealt with in such a shabby manner, believing whatever lie filed by Election Commission of India and gave the judgment. So that's what I'm saying. This is probably the mega legacy of Justice Chandrachud by virtually destroying India's electoral democracy. And this has led to a kind of situation wherein, now coming to your second question, the Election Commission feels...
Yes, I was speaking to you on the election mafia because that's a concept which nobody understands. If you just talk, randomly, people would not understand that the election these days is conducted by a mafia.
That's what I'm coming to it. Now this judgment and now media, the so-called mainstream media, they don't cover this at all. There's no analysis. They once in a while give a small little coverage. They write reams and reams and reams of papers and all kind of things, but they will not write a word about this issue. They never talk to us. I tell you, in the last 5 years, we have been working, Neelu, 5-6 years. Not even one person from the mainstream media has contacted me. It's not that I was not known. I used to interact with media. But on this issue, not one mainstream media was ever. In fact, Indian Express sabotaged my article. I'm openly saying, Indian Express sabotaged my article when I would try to clarify a certain wrong information.
Yes, you mentioned that in your last interview also.
I'm coming back to your question. Because of these kind of thing, Election Commission feels protected. Election Commission feels they can do anything and get away with it. So they do whatever they want. They take orders not from the people of India. They have a group of people, Prime Minister's office or Home Minister's office, wherever, whoever is coordinating, they take orders. They do whatever they want. And from December 2018 onwards, they have sealed the Election Commission office. Nobody can get in. No communication. no email, no telephone, no physical, nothing, no meeting, no discussion, nothing, even with civil servants like us. So having done that, Election Commission is sitting there completely feeling protected. Then you know what happened to the law of selecting the election commissioners, what happened just before the 2024 election. I don't have to explain to that. So whatever election commission is doing is being now completely supported and protected by the ruling party. Immediately it jumps into the picture, the troll army, the IT cell, then the ruling government, the government of the day is supported. Supreme Court is completely backing up. The Supreme Court's attitude is very simple. We are also constitutional authority, election commission also constitutional authority.
Are you saying that Supreme Court is also part of the election mafia?
I don't know. I don't say election mafia, but what happens is Supreme Court feels that they are also constitutional body, we are also constitutional body, so we will not interfere. Expert opinion, we don't bother. Election commission is much more expertise. They feel that citizens are nobody.
No, but who are the people? No, but I'm asking you very forthrightly that who are the people who comprise of this election mafia you're talking about? Is it the media? Is it the Supreme Court, the IT cell, the troll army, the government?
Media, IT cell, BJP, they are all part of the mafia. And there could be foreign elements also. Now the question is opposition also part of the mafia? That's the question that we are asking now. Since they are not also taking up the issue, see, it has taken so much of efforts for them to write this letter. And that too, even now, they have not raised any question of the Lok Sabha election.
Don't you think that the onus is more now on the courts? When the opposition, for some reason, is not taking up, when election commission is in cahoots with the government, so the onus is more on the courts. So is court, my question to you is that are courts also part of the election mafia?
In our constitutional scheme of things, there's a division of responsibility. It is not the responsibility of the election Supreme Court to conduct free and fair election. It's not their duty. For that, we have a separate Election Commission of India with the same status as the Supreme Court. Let me make myself very clear. With the same status as the Supreme Court. And they are supposed to have all the mandate, plenipotentiary powers, legal powers, this power, that power. They are failing in their job and making a lot of mistakes. Also, people run to the Supreme Court. What the Supreme Court should do is, they should not blindly believe what not the Election Commission says. There are sincere people outside the Election Commission also. They should consult. They should have easily set up a team of experts. They should have easily and gone into the EVM matter. You see, our team of experts, let me tell you frankly, we had a set of technical experts and non-technical experts also. Even in the Citizens Commission on Election, some of us were in favor of going back to the paper ballot. So technical experts say, no need to go back to it. There's also some problems. Let us stick to the EVM. But these are the things that need to be done to improve EVM. They gave a formula. So if only Supreme Court has consulted them, they're our own people, top class IIT professors. They could have easily consulted them and then given a direction to the Election Commission. Baba, dekho, why are you sticking to this? Make these improvements. Civil society has been asking for it. But the problem with Supreme Court is they don't want to even listen. And they just say, all right, whatever Election Commission says, you believe. That is where I would say, you can't call it a mafia. Supreme Court cannot become part of a mafia. But they are endorsing these actions without going in depth, in spite of the fact that,
are you saying that Supreme Court is endorsing the election mafia? We can say that.
Yeah, can we not? Without realizing probably. Probably they're doing it without realizing it. In innocence, probably they're doing it.
But this is a big statement, so which is why I want you to repeat this. You're saying the Supreme Court is endorsing the election mafia in the country.
Yeah, the way elections are being conducted now, it looks like a mafia operation.
And Supreme Court is endorsing it.
Otherwise, such brazen violations will not take place.
And I'm repeating myself, Supreme Court is endorsing this election mafia, the corrupt election mafia.
By summarily dismissing these kind of things. like how they dealt with the writ petition, and then in the final order in April, they passed stricture against ADR.
Right. All right.
They don't want the citizens to even go to the Supreme Court. They don't know, why are you coming to us? Why are you wasting our time? Is it wasting our time? I mean, some land dispute is okay, but this is democracy. They should realize this. That's the problem.
All right, sir. Thank you so much for joining on HW News. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
50 words. Download now for a smarter, faster news experience.